Hi, I'm John Conklin, and I'm here today to talk about how digital texts can be used to make learning more accessible. Learning through text has been the standard in educational settings for a long time, and for good reason. Despite their limitations, text is easily transmissible, consistent, and persistent, and allows for the communication of complex ideas. While graphics, or sometimes called visual texts, an experience can be excellent for learning, we often keep coming back to text. However, texts have significant limitations. Learners with visual disabilities, be it blindness or dyslexia or any number of other things, can struggle to access them as their peers do. Learning disabilities have also prevented many people from accessing the information that they could use to grow their knowledge and improve their lives. Text's consistency is also a double-edged sword. You can also call them static. As one literary critic put it, many of the Westerners who call Haruki Murakami their favorite author have never actually read the man's work. They've only read his novels in translation, which can become new texts unto themselves. Luckily, the ubiquity of text makes text processing and reading tools quite ubiquitous as well. Let's look at what we can do with Google Docs, a free and popular text processor available through any browser. As my example text today, I'm going to be using The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Huck Finn is considered to be one of the great novels of the 19th century, but can often feel inaccessible to new readers not just because of the historical content, but because of the prose, which was very tailored to the time and place it was written in. There are a number of things we can do with this digital text to make it a little easier for us to read right here in our browser. By highlighting the text that we're reading, or the whole document, we can increase or decrease the size of the text. We can also do the same thing with the window itself. While this helps people to see the text, some people also enjoy it as a way to focus on a smaller chunk. Personally, I enjoy highlighting the sentence or paragraph that I'm reading to help me isolate the text around it. But maybe the problem isn't that the text is too small. Maybe it's just clustered too tightly together, making it easy to get lost in the muddle of it. If we click Format at the top of the screen, and then hover over line and paragraph spacing, we can see that we're currently using 1.15 line spacing, which is pretty typical for printed texts. It might be more comfortable to try 1.5 or double spacing, which are common in hardcover books. We can also change how the page is structured. First, let's click File in the top left, and then Page Setup down near the bottom. There are two options that I want to focus on here. First is Pageless. This version renders the text almost like a web page, without breaks in pages. I enjoy tracking how many pages I've read, but for others it can be a distraction. The pageless view also simplifies what's on the screen. We could further simplify things by clicking View and then Full Screen, which gets rid of the controls at the top. To exit this view, you just need to hold the Escape button. If you're sticking to a setup that has pages, you can also alter the size of the lines. Readers might find it easier to track the text if there are fewer words to follow. Essentially, our eyes get less tired, making it easier to pick up where they left off when you move down to the next row. We can accomplish this simply by changing the size of the margins on the page. As an example, let's look how our page appears when we double the size of the side margins from 1 inch to 2. After making these changes, if the text still isn't right, we can fine-tune it further by combining different settings. Let's try increasing the size of the font and the spacing between rows, while keeping our margins doubled. This way, we've really transformed the text into something that suits our own needs best here. There are some other small edits we can make. For one, people may find it easier to read some fonts than others. Some, like Lexend, were designed specifically for people with dyslexia, but all sorts of people can find it easier to read with them. Unfortunately, as of 2025, Google Docs doesn't support the premier font for visual accessibility, which is Open Dyslexic, but most other word processors like OpenOffice allow for the direct installation of fonts. People who process text better orally can try using text-to-speech extensions to Google Chrome when reading these texts. Two common ones are Google Read and Write by TextHelp, as well as HelperBird.
You don't know about me without you have read a book by the name of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, but that ain't no matter. That book was made by Mr. Mark Twain, and he told the truth, mainly.
Digital texts are also compatible with external screen reading programs designed for the visually impaired, like JAWS or NVDA. Many of these features are also available as settings in popular e-readers like Kindle, Kobo, or Books, as well as in ebook viewers for desktop computers like Calibre. While digital texts raise questions about media preservation and accessibility in a digitally divided world, they also offer flexibility that simply isn't available through conventional printed texts.